Hey everyone, in this video I want to talk about concern I hear more and more, the fear that AI, especially generative AI like ChatGPT, will replace software engineers. I want to explain why I personally don't think that's going to happen, at least not anytime soon, and what you can focus on to stay truly irreplaceable. Of course, I can't predict future, and what I'll share in this video is just my personal opinion. There are no reasons for us engineers to settle. I think the best we can do is to stay on top of the technology trends and simply be ready to whatever happens. First, I'd like to clear up a common misconception. Many people see AI as a sudden threat, something that came out of nowhere and is now on track to crush IT market completely within a year or two. But I think that's kind of exaggeration, based on hype rather than reality. Generative AI didn't suddenly emerge and start stealing engineering jobs. The hype began a few years ago when OpenAI released the first version of ChatGPT. But AI as a field has been around for decades. In fact, it's been steadily evolving for a long time. What we saw with ChatGPT was just the public release of one specific type of AI, a large language model trained to generate human-like output. Yes, it looked like overnight revolution for many people, but it was built on years of progress. So when people say something like if AI keeps evolving at the same pace, it will become obsolete in a year or two, I think that is just not true. Progress will continue, but there is no reason to expect another sudden leap that makes engineers irrelevant in the coming soon. I personally think that the boom already happened, and now we are more like in the refinement phase. At this point, AI is more of an accelerator rather than a replacer. Let's say you're a manager at a tech company. You think, why should I hire a developer and pay him money when I can just ask AI to write the code of my product for me? Fine, AI will definitely generate you some code, but what comes next? You'll probably spend hours asking AI how to compile it, how to run it, debug it, and it will have bugs guaranteed. And unless you're a technical person with solid engineering skills, you won't get far. Everyone's seen these memes about vibe coding and vibe debugging. AI gives you that kind of code which looks very solid until you actually try to run it. So without real software engineers guiding the process, AI is just not super practical. Software development isn't just about code. You're solving real-world problems. You deal with constantly changing business workflows, vague requirements, undocumented systems, and conflicting priorities. You talk to stakeholders, plan releases, fix production issues, and work with teammates. AI doesn't do that. It doesn't handle ambiguity, weigh trade-offs correctly, or coordinate across teams. The real risk isn't AI replacing you, it's another engineer using AI being better than you and becoming 2x or even 10x more productive. So don't just ignore it. Use AI tools for boilerplating, testing ideas, generating documentation, or helping you explore new languages. Make it your assistant, not your competitor. Right now, AI often creates code that looks clean but fails in practice. You still need to review it, test it, debug it, and integrate it with existing systems. In most real-world apps, that is where 80% of the work is. Also, and this is critical, AI lacks the context to see the full picture. Despite AI capabilities are growing in this area, its context still not able to accommodate enough to truly understand the business goals, customer needs, or long-term vision. You can't rely on it to make strategic architecture decisions or pick the right trade-offs. Its context window is much smaller than a human brain. And another thing is that AI is not deterministic. That means each time you give it the same input, you get different results. Now imagine you're running a business and relying on AI to build your core product. That unpredictability is just unacceptable for real production systems. With a human engineer, you get responsibility, reasoning, and reproducibility. With AI, it's always a bit of a gamble. Another example of non-deterministic behavior is in design tasks like generating a logo. Sure, AI can produce some great-looking images, but if you try to use it instead of real designer, you'll quickly notice a major limitation. It rarely captures your exact vision. Even if you get something you like, making small precise changes like adjusting line, changing color, or tweaking shape are just impossible. That's because AI doesn't edit in the traditional sense. It tends to regenerate the whole image from scratch every time, often giving you a completely different version, instead of just applying the change you asked for. This randomness might be fine for inspiration, but it's a real problem when you need control and consistency, which are critical in software engineering. There is still not enough data research showing that generative AI improves code quality or team productivity in the long term. Yes, some early studies have shown that AI tools can boost developer efficiency, but that's not the same as replacing engineers entirely. Those gains come from assisting developers, not eliminating the need for them. AI might help you write code faster, but does it reduce bugs, improve maintainability, help with onboarding or communication? We don't know yet. Until there is more data, we can't claim that AI leads to less labor. It might even increase the need for experienced developers to clean up the code after it. Let's take a moment to think about how AI actually works. It's not magic, it's not some alien intelligence evolving in parallel universe. It's designed, trained, and built entirely by humans. AI systems, especially large language models, are trained on massive datasets. That training takes time. It requires collecting data, building neural networks, and fine-tuning predictions based on past patterns. As a result, AI can generate impressive responses, but they are always rooted in historical data which was studied during the training. And that's a key limitation. AI is always lagging behind reality. Even when models are updated regularly, they are still predicting based on what's already happened. Yes, some AI systems can now browse the internet, but even then their reasoning is still shaped by past data and probabilities, not real-time experience or awareness. Meanwhile, human thinking happens now at present, in the real time, with current context, live inputs, emotions, intuition, and even instincts. That's a major reason why AI can assist you but not replace you completely. If you take a bit of time to understand how AI works, this difference becomes clear, and it's why your job is still safe. Another thing to keep in mind is that most companies aren't using public ChatGPT level models internally. While OpenAI and other major players offer massive public models with billions of parameters, most enterprise AI deployments, even at large companies, are significantly smaller. There are two main reasons for it. The first one is security and data privacy. Companies often can't afford to send sensitive customer data to public APIs. So instead they deploy AI models privately, either on their own in-house infrastructure or in isolated cloud environments. And the second reason is cost and complexity. Running large models like GPT-4 privately is expensive. You need powerful GPUs, constant monitoring, and lots of engineering work just to keep things stable. So these privately deployed models are often much smaller and less capable than public ones. And they lag behind in terms of performance and intelligence. Even if a company wants to adopt AI widely, it's not replacing engineers with anything close to OpenAI level tech. They are using smaller, fine-tuned models to assist, not replace their teams. So if you're imagining that every company will soon spin up an internal AI model and replace dev teams, that's just not realistic technically or financially. Another serious issue with generative AI today is reliability. Large language models often hallucinate. They confidently generate false or made-up statements. You might get code that looks right but doesn't build, or explanations that sound good but are really technically wrong. And this isn't just a rare bug, it's a fundamental limitation of how these models work. They are trained to predict the next word, not to guarantee logic. On top of that, there are resource limits. Most public APIs have token limits. Responses get cut off, models lose context mid-conversation. You often have to repeat or reframe your prompts to get something useful. So, while AI can be helpful, the quality and consistency of output still falls short of what's needed for production-level work. That is why engineers are still needed to validate, correct, and hide the process. Otherwise, the cost of fixing AI-generated errors could be higher than just doing the job right from the start. So here's the bottom line. AI isn't a replacement for software engineers. It's a tool for them. Yeah, the field is changing rapidly, but no, you don't need to panic. Focus on what truly matters, your ability to think, communicate, and solve real problems. And start using AI as a partner, not as a threat. That said, I know many of you have noticed a slowdown in the IT job market recently. Personally, I see this as a temporary phase, time when big investors are becoming more cautious about where to spend money. With AI in the spotlight, we are going through a period of uncertainty. There is a bit of FOMO. Every company is trying to inject AI into their processes, even without fully understanding its role and value. It's a critical moment. The industry is still figuring out how AI fits into software development long term. But here's what I think. AI won't lead to fewer engineering roles. It will lead to different ones. More work, more complexity. More need for skilled engineers to supervise, integrate, and guide AI systems. So yes, I expect the market to recover and grow again soon. Investors will eventually realize that AI doesn't replace engineers, it requires them. And when that becomes clear, we will see renewed investment in engineering talents like it was before. Anyway, those are just my thoughts. You might agree or disagree, and that's totally fine. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know, are you using AI in your workflow? Has it made you more productive or not? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.